Welcome back, guys, to Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This is part 20, and we're going to start things off by changing our armor. So, if you remember, I said we would be changing armor almost permanently because of all of the summoner enemies that can cause despair damage. Just preemptively, before we get into it, let's change our armor now. It's, I guess it doesn't do as much protecting against slashing and stabbing and, those sorts of attacks. But I think we're in a good enough place with our upgrades at this point that we can deal with that. So go into your inventory and pick the items that have the highest level of resistance to despair. And by that token, a lot of times they'll have other resistances that are similar as well. So yeah, I picked the wedding veil, but I'm going to change it in just a minute. I picked the wrong one. I thought something looked funny. Anyway, make your way down the stairs from the shrine, and we're going to go to the left. This is how we're going to progress through the area. This is very twisty and turny, and you enter a lot of the same buildings multiple times at different levels. Be sure to turn on your lamp because it's hard to see in these buildings. When you come in here, there is an enemy that's hiding behind some furniture. He's probably going to jump out at you. Just make quick work of him. He's not hard. And then there are a couple of items here as well. There we go. I'm changing my headpiece now. I knew something wasn't right. And I'm pretty sure the right one is the Palace Maid's hairpin. That one has the highest resistance. So there we go. Now I'm ready to go. I tried to break that and see if I could pass that way, but you cannot. And there is an item hiding over in the corner. But we need to go up the stairs. So when you get up the stairs, there will be a couple of enemies throughout here. Most of them, I'll let you know if it's anything crazy. There are a couple of crazy ones, but for right now, they're mostly just regular enemies. Nothing to really worry about. Just inspect the area. This is the path we need to take up that ladder. So before we go, I'm just gonna go and check everything out. There should be an enemy here behind this corner and an item. So once you're done exploring this level, make your way up the ladder. I really enjoyed this area, honestly. Once I got familiar with the layout, I enjoyed it a lot more, at least in the last area. I found myself getting very confused in the tree area, the avian dwelling, because everything it was very pretty. It was very nice to look at, but it took me a while to kind of get my bearings as to where I was and how things connected to each other. Everything just kind of looked the same because it's all trees. Anyway, when you're up here, I'm just waiting for this guy to stop throwing lotuses at me. And once he stops, you can go over there, but he's still going to see you. So I guess it doesn't really matter. If you do that, sometimes you can knock him off the bridge. Oh, it looks like I did. But I think more than anything, it was that lotus flower coming back that did it. Cross over into this next building here, and you're going to see a summoner that causes despair. They're the ones that hold those lights. So take him out, and he'll kill you super fast if you don't have armor that mitigates despair. it'll take no time at all. Like within 3 seconds, you're dying from despair. So that's why we changed our armor. Come down the stairs. And in this room, if you exit to the left and go behind the stairs we came down, back there is one of those jar enemies that spits blight. I'm going around her to pick up this item on the altar. And when you get close, she's going to burst out. Just be careful because she's surrounded by blight jars, and they love to do that. They want you to get blight so bad in this game. So just do your best to take her out. It can be kind of hard to navigate through here because it's very easy to get stuck on the environment. But once you do take her out, you get a brilliant red feather, so it's well worth it. And then come over here and drop down this ladder. So if you look to the left up the stairs, there's the shrine. So we won't have to make our way all the way through. We can just come straight down the stairs and up the ladder if we die. We're going to have a lot of places that are like that as well, where it'll make things shorter. Now, if you come back and inspect around the other side, you're going to see this spike trap on the floor. We're going to have to deal with quite a few of these. You don't have to come here if you don't want to. We just did it to get a red mercury. So I guess it depends on how badly you need it. But anyway, once you're done, go back around to the opposite side of the building and then climb up the ladder to get onto the roof. Now, once you're up here, we're about to go into a new area, and I want you to beware because once you cross this bridge and enter that broken wall, there's a bamboozling, but there's also enemies shooting a mortar at you. So you'll want to sprint, try and catch up to that bamboozling without getting hit by the mortar. Now, once you get close to these guys, they're not going to do anything else. They won't shoot at you anymore. They're not going to attack you. So don't worry too much about them. We can go and pick up the items on this side. But we need to go up the stairs. Oh, well, it's not, it's a ramp. Go up the ramp and then kind of stay far back from this guy so we can maybe get a poise break on him from behind. He has a lot of health. So try and take him out before he can do any damage. Then you can pick up the item that's on this altar and then read the note that's here. Now we're going to take our time with this area. There is a bird with an arm feather on that post there, and you can see that there are, I think there are 4 summoner enemies in this area. We're going to try to take them out one by one without the others seeing. So come to this one first, get a poise break on him, and get rid of him as quickly as possible. Now the one that's to his right may spot us, and if he does, just run back the way you came and come and hide on the other side of this building. Eventually he will de-aggro and stop throwing lotuses at you, and then we can continue. Some people might call this cheesing. I don't really care. I tried going at all these guys head on, and I'm telling you, you're gonna die. It's just too many because there are 4 summoners, and then there's a couple of dogs, and 3 or 4 human enemies. So don't even bother. Make your way back where we were and stay far to the right, close to the building. Continue following the building until you get to the stairs. Go up the stairs, and immediately to the left there's another summoner enemy. You want to take him out as quickly as possible. And they're dropping their robes now, so we should have quite a few of those. Now you can come around this way and look, but this is the way that we need to go to progress, so let's not go that way right now. Coming around here, you cannot open this door from this side. We have to make our way inside before we can open the door. Come up to this summoner, take him out as quickly as you can, because he's summoning a bunch of spirit people to hurt us. Here, I just saw the first summoner drop something, so I'm coming pick it up. And when you turn around, there's a body here that we missed. It has a spell on it. It's in the corner between those two summoner enemies around the fire. The first and the third summoners that we took out. Here I'm just coming check out this side of the building, but I don't think there's anything here, so you don't have to worry about that. Now what we're going to do is go around the way that progresses the story. We're going to come up behind that final summoner enemy from this way. In this courtyard area, none of these guys are going to attack you, so don't worry about them. I can see that there's an item over there on the other side of that building, so I'm going to go run and grab it really quickly before we progress on. It's nothing super important. I'm just a hoarder. Okay, so up the stairs that way is the way we want to go, but instead we're going to head back toward the middle of this courtyard. You can take out this one guy sitting by the fire. It doesn't look like we aggroed anything else. Now that final summoner is over there. You do not have to come over here and do this if you don't want to. Honestly, there's nothing of note over here. I'm just being thorough. So you can see there is a dog and another guy that will also attack you. So be careful of that. And now this area is completely clear. So we're going to head back over to the courtyard with the big squares in the middle with the trees here. And let's go left. When you come up the stairs, inside of this building, there is an item on this table. And to the right, you're going to see a firebird. Now, this firebird is pretty tough. I am going to use my tempering just to make things easier. I died to him several times, so I don't really want to go through that again. He's a firebird, but he also will shoot frostbite at you. So, yeah, he's a jack of all trades. It may take a little while to take him out. He is pretty tough, and it's nearly impossible to come into the fight with the ability to get a backstab on him, like to poise break. I've tried doing it many times and it just doesn't work. Now, sometimes you'll get lucky and you can knock him down with a heavy attack, but he's a tough bird, no pun intended. Looks like we've got him now, finally. I was just trying to get out of his cloud of frostbite. And right near him is a brilliant red feather. So be sure to pick that up before we move on. We need to go up the stairs in order to progress. And once you get up to the top of this building, which is going to take a few seconds, when you get up here, you'll immediately see that there are stairs going down. You can check out the open area here. I think there is an item over on the edge, but nothing of great importance. We really need to go down the stairs. So, and I'm also checking out that other building. I can see there's an enemy over there. So make your way down these stairs. There's an enemy around the corner, and then when you turn around, you're going to see there are more enemies headed your way. You're going to want to get rid of those guys too. And do be careful because there are jars of blight all over the place. We're going to see that a lot in this area. There's an item on the table. And then if you go outside, you can see that there is a bridge that leads into the next building. Immediately in front of you is an enemy. Take him out. Be careful because to your right, there is one of those exploding enemies. It looks like he got hung up on a jar. But try to avoid him exploding on you if possible. And then make your way around the building. And you'll see that there is a path that has these spikes again. So try and time it. You don't have to come back here. I actually died here. You'll see a cut when I'm on my way back. Just FYI, I have seen some information that says there is an important item back here, but I did not find it. So I'm curious as to whether or not this item was maybe moved in the update, or maybe if it's a new game plus thing. What I find back here is just a regular item. It's nothing important. As you can see, it is some flawless red mercury. Nothing that you need to be dying over, really. So it's up to you. You don't have to come back here. This is not the main story path. You'll see right about here. I died with the spikes here, so you're going to see a cut. I had to come back here to pick up my red mercury. Because there's no way I was going to leave that behind. Anyway, now that that's done, you can go inside of this building. And behind the set of stairs that we need to go up to progress, there is an enemy back here. You can leave him alone or you can take him out. It's completely up to you. Head up the stairs. And there's going to be a room full of these enemies. They're very easy, but there are several. I think there's 4 or 5 that are in this room. So, some easy red mercury, I guess. Just look at it that way. Make your way around the room. You can see across the way there's a bridge that leads into a room with a dancing firebird. How lovely. We're going to make our way around the edge of the roof to get to this particular enemy. I don't know who built these roofs like this. This is just so strange, but that's beside the point. It's game logic. Again, you may want to prepare yourself before going into this fight, because this is another pretty tough enemy. I'm going to use my tempering, which, you know, I typically try not to use it for regular enemies. I try to keep it for bosses. But every time you rest at a shrine, it renews, so it really doesn't matter. You just use it whenever you want to use it, right? That's what it's there for. And we are at shrines pretty often. Sometimes it feels like a long time between shrines, but it's really not. Oh, we got lucky and got a poise break on him. So he's down for the count. Be sure to read the note that's on the ground where he was standing. And then over in this corner, we are going to find Forgotten Remembrance number 6. So, another Mana Vase upgrade. Super, super important. We need to fully upgrade the Mana Vase for a trophy. And it just makes life easier if you get more health when you use your flask. So once you're done up here, you can go downstairs or you can go upstairs. First, I'm gonna check everything out and pick up all of the possible items on this floor before we go anywhere else. Let's begin by going downstairs first. There's a bird with an arm feather sitting there. And when you get down to the bottom, you can open up a shortcut door, which is super helpful. So this takes us back out to the courtyard where there are a whole bunch of summoner enemies. So at least, you know, it will make it a little bit faster to get back if we die. Once you've collected all the items in this room, head up the stairs and then go to the next flight of stairs up and take those. There's a large enemy in here. You're going to want to take him out as quickly as possible. There is a very important item in this room. Once he's done, if you look on the shelf right here, you're going to find the Tome of Silver Seeking. I found this item in this room. I have seen some people say that earlier where all the spikes were, that's the item that's back there. But this is where I found it. So this is where I'm going to tell you to find it. However, if for some reason it was changed in the update, I want you to be aware that it could possibly be in that other spot. Once you're done, climb up the ladder that's on the outside of the building. And when you come up here, you're going to want to walk forward just a little bit to aggro that enemy and then come back over here. Because this is one of the summoners that causes despair. And even though this takes a little bit more time, at least you won't die from despair. Because when you die from despair, like roots grow out of your chest and kill you. But if you run straight up to him, every time I did it, even when I used a pill, he would always kill me with despair. So I just started aggroing him to walk to me and then hiding. And that seems to work a whole lot better. Make your way to where he came from. You're going to see a bird with an arm feather sitting here. You can collect that if you wish. And then you're going to want to interact with that purple lighted mechanism. It's going to raise and lower different bridges to get to the center. There's another enemy that causes despair. Just take him out as quickly as possible. You can pick up the item and then cross over the only other available bridge. This area is a little bit confusing, just to throw it out there. When you get across and come down the stairs, you're going to see Huang Jian'e sitting in this golden circle. So stop and speak to her. And she doesn't, I mean, she talks a little bit, but it is important that we talk to her. We're going to need her coming up in a little bit. There's an item way over in this corner that you can grab. And then you'll want to go down the next flight of stairs. Now, you'll see in this room there are tons of jars of blight. I am going to try to clear this area out. Just break the jars, run away. And then if you run up the stairs, most of the time the blight is going to hit a hard surface. So it'll dissipate before it can get too close to you. You're going to see me do this a few times, and it's not just so that I can collect items. In the very back corner is one of those blight jar enemies. You can see it there. And I would rather control when the blight comes after me than have that enemy control it, because that thing hops around and jumps and it's going to break all these jars, and before I know it, I'll be dead from blight before I can even hit the jar enemy. So this is going to make things easier. So once you've sufficiently cleared out the area, take on this blighted jar enemy. Be careful. You don't want to lose too much health if you can help it, because we're about to fight a red-eyed enemy immediately after this. So she gives a brilliant red feather along with several other items. And then you want to come over to that hole in the wall and you want to drop down the ladder. Here I am changing my outfit again because we need to mitigate lightning. So you'll see at the top, mitigation, it's third from the bottom, you can see lightning. And you're going to want to pick outfits that are going to help stop lightning damage. And luckily, a lot of what we're already wearing is very good against lightning as well as despair. But it looks like I did have to change my gloves and I think my leggings. So the red-eyed enemy that's coming up does lightning damage. And I will say, the hardest red-eyed enemy I've encountered so far. By a long, long way. So after dying about 8 million times, I am going to cheese this, and I don't really care if people think it's cheating. I don't think it's cheating. When you come down the ladder, he's automatically going to be aggroed. So I'm kind of staying behind this box here. You can see he hit us with a pretty good lightning thump, and it didn't take much off. So our clothes are pretty good at mitigating lightning. I'm running straight out the door, coming around the bottom of the stairs, and I am going to unlock this shortcut door that leads directly into the shrine room. So yeah, I'm coming here. I'm going to go into my impetus. I'm going to use some of my red mercury to get an upgrade. I recommend you do the same. Also, don't forget you have mana vase upgrades. I don't know if I did them. I didn't put them in. I think I was too nervous at this moment. Anyway, if you go in there and wait, all the enemies will de-aggro. Also, to the left here, there is another shortcut door from where you enter the shrine room. When you're coming out of the shrine room to the left, you can open up this door, and this is another path to that courtyard that's full of summoners. So, once that's done, you can see there's a bird enemy, a bow enemy, whatever, that came down from the roof when we came out of here. I'm trying to keep this enemy lower. I don't want to go and aggro that red-eyed enemy until this one's taken out. Come on, you. Okay, so with him taken care of, there's also a bird with an aurum feather. I may have taken him out already. He was there, or maybe the bird took him out. I don't know. But anyway, what you want to do is you'll come back up here and try to get a really good backstab on him. You can see it doesn't even... I barely got him down to half. And then I'm going to, as soon as he stands up, I'm going to turn around and run back. Now you're going to see a cut here because I did this several times. I wasn't able to get another good backstab on him. So rather than have you sit there and wait with me, I'll just cut that part out and show you the very last time I did this where we actually defeated him. And you can actually see him walking back up the stairs as you come out. Just try to keep your distance until he gets there and kind of resets his position. Because he'll turn around, look out the door, and then reset his position. And as quickly as you can, try to take him out. I totally missed my window there. And look, he got me good. I have to heal. But finally we get the red mercury essence from him and the brilliant red feather. Come over here to this blue spot and interact with it. And you're going to want to use the worship pose right here. Once you do this, I think we might be hearing an echo of Wuchang's memory. I think it might be her sister talking to her and she's just remembering it. Once that echo is finished, you're going to get the Zhenwu Temple Elixir. That is a special item. If you come around, there are a couple items you can pick up, and you can see here there's an elevator. We can't activate it from below. We have to climb up to the top of this tower and then actually write it down to be able to use it. So now, now that that stuff is done, we're going to come outside. I'm just checking the outside of both sides of this temple. There's nothing when you're exiting the temple. There's nothing to the right. There's an item to the left. Now, you can go and use the shrine if you like, because we should have gotten a good bit from that red-eyed enemy. Plus a free mercury essence. I see there I went and upgraded my mana vase. I spotted it in the quick run through. Don't forget to upgrade your mana vases. Don't forget to check your weapon because you've got a lot of feathers. So you always want to remember to check your weapon strength and get that up. When you exit the shrine from the shortcut door, exit to the right and come into this courtyard area. There are a bunch of enemies fighting over there. I'm going to ignore them for now. I'm going to climb up this ladder and then up another ladder that's going to take us to the roof of the temple that the shrine is in. Those guys shouldn't bother us once we get up here. And you can see there's a hole in the roof. I'm going to run around to the other side, and as you can see, I thought I would just be able to cross the roof, but the peak doesn't allow it. So I'm actually going to have to go down and around to get this item. You don't have to do this, but, you know, I like to get everything. But the real reason we came up here is to go inside the attic. In here you can read a note. It's just story information. It doesn't give you anything. And then you'll see that there is a blue item over there. Before you do this, make sure you knock down that ladder because I don't know if... Okay, I did. I knocked down the ladder. Make sure you knock that ladder down before doing this. Turn around and drop onto the statue so that we can pick up this golden item because this is Jade Pendant number 24. It's very important that you do that and get that pendant. That's the only way that you can grab it. You have to fall down on top of it. Once you're done, let's head back into this courtyard area. You can see there are enemies coming after us. There's a bird there that gives an aurum feather. You can run past all of these enemies. You don't have to fight them. But of course I'm going to fight them. Because, I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the game. I feel like, you know, if you're actively avoiding enemies your first time around, now if you've died and you're coming back and fighting enemies you've already fought, I totally understand that, like avoiding them. But first time around, I want the full experience. Like, this is what I'm paying for, you know? Plus, I never know what an enemy is going to drop, so. These guys are not too tough. Get them out of the way. Pick up any items that they drop. And off over there in that pagoda, there's an enemy there. I'm going to come back in the beginning of the next video and take her out. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can. it's an easier version of the Tang Palace made. But for some reason, I didn't do that right now. I'm going to come back and do it. Don't worry. Now, over here, you can pick up a radiant red feather, I think. And then a couple of enemies are going to wake up once you get close. You can take them out. And when you come up the stairs, there's a large enemy crying over here. You don't have to take him out, but I'm gonna. There is a small item that he was guarding, but it's nothing important. And I'm going to check both sides, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing of note on the other side. And that door doesn't open. Like from either side, so don't worry about it. Once you're done exploring the area, you can go up the second set of stairs here. And when you get up to the top, before going any further, be sure to drop down this ladder. This is where, right near where we talked to Xin Jing'an and we fought the inner demon. So this is a very, very quick way to get back to the boss from the shrine in the refugee camp. Now, before you go in, you're going to want to make sure you're ready. You need lightning mitigation. So keep what you have on. This is the Lu Wenxiu boss fight. And we are going to treat this one very much like we did the Mistress of the Night. We used the corruption spell on her, and we're going to do the same thing here because Lu Wenxiu is very susceptible to corruption. And if you have over 50% madness, it only costs 1 feathering to throw the spell. So every opportunity you get, throw the spell at him, and it only takes 1 hit for him to get full corruption. So when you can, of course, you know, get some licks in with your sword, but really you just want to make sure that you're getting corruption on him because you'll make very short work of him. You just have to be very good at dodging his attacks. But the perfect dodges also refill your feathering. So it all helps. And don't forget that once he's corrupted, don't throw another corruption spell at him until the lines around the corruption banner are gone. So you can see right now the lines around that form the banner are slowly going away. Wait until it's completely gone before throwing another spell because it won't do anything. That's so nice that it only takes 1. Before I realized this, I struggled a lot. Like, I just could not figure out how to defeat this enemy. And I tried so many spells, and I thought, surely they won't do this again. They won't make this one susceptible to corruption like they did the last one, but they did. So, yeah, it was a piece of cake once I figured this out. I think we're going to have to do one more corruption, and he's gone. We got the South General Lu Wenxiu trophy. We get the Zhenwu Temple key, and we get the South General's armor from him. So, yay. He was actually one of the easiest bosses. Once I figured out what his weakness was, he was one of the easiest bosses. So, anyway, once you have defeated him, we're going to have to go behind that tree in the courtyard. Let me turn my lamp on. I pushed the wrong button. I didn't mean to do that. It's hard to see. So let's go around this tree behind the building and go up these stairs. You're going to see there's bird with an arm feather, and you're going to see an item back there, but we can't get there just yet. We'll come back in another video and get that purple item. For now, let's just go up the sloped scaffolding. Make your way across the rooftops. You may find a few places where there could be an item. Just keep your eyes peeled. I think on the back side of this building there's one. There's really only one path you can take, so don't worry about getting lost. Up until this point, you can go to the right or you can go straight. Of course, we want to go straight because we see an NPC there. That is Nian Suichang. You want to stop and talk to him. You can also take out the bird with the arm feather that's above the gate. He seems a little upset that we took out Wenxiu without him, but he said he'll help us in our next fight, which we're going to need him. So unlock this door, and it is a shortcut to directly into the refugee camp. And when you come through this door, you'll see Tao King just up ahead, but we want to go over to Wuchang. We have something to give him. Give him the Tome of Silver Seeking, and that's going to open up more things that we can buy from his shop. Here, I'm going to take a look and see what I can sell him. It looks like I have a couple extra lotus robes, so I'll let him take those off my hands. And that's about it. And when you're done talking to Wuchang, you can head over to the shrine and do whatever upgrading you need to do and make sure that the game saves automatically at shrines. So, yeah. Anyway, this is going to end it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe and come back and join me for part 21. Until then, Kaji always has wares.